I don't know how much longer I can keep going like this. I haven't seen civilization in like 45 minutes. I don't know what I should do without my Starbucks lattes and aloe vera drinks. I am running out of options. I put up a help sign in the hopes of an airplane finding it, but I don't think they give a crap. Yeah. I don't see any airplanes. This is bull. I don't have enough subscribers.
You can survive 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food.
Subscribe now. We can save him if he brought water.
What is that, Editor Jill? Did I at least bring fresh water? No, of course not. But I did bring some tasty, tasty memes.
Hi, I'm looking for new work. Thank you.
That is right. Today we're going to look at r/QuitYourBulls, which, after watching these people, I don't mind not finding my way back to civilization after this. So this is how I live now. I'm going to sustain myself off of pine cones. I do hope you enjoy that journey. Dietary blog coming up soon. Yeah, we're gonna die. Mom by chance. We've been getting the runaround for over 2 weeks, again and again, rudely giving us information as to why they weren't able to give us the gun that we already paid for. Then today called my mother and very rudely told her that she was absolutely not going to get the gun and it couldn't possibly be for her. Why? Because she's old and a woman? Response from the owner. Your mom isn't giving you the whole story. It appears she is buying guns for her son, who, according to our online court record, has a felony conviction. That is super illegal for both them. It's not even just like casually legal. It's very illegal. We weren't going to post anything publicly about this, but, well, here we are. Oh, isn't that silly, Karen? See how everything goes to garbage when you try to confront people publicly? Never just talk to people. It's much easier that way. Become one with nature. Hurt feelings. Jermaine says Brett isn't replying to emails about Flight of the Conchords reunion. This is not really true, by the way. I love it when news sites are just trying so desperate to make clickbait that they just straight up lie and get caught out. I mean, Twitter is garbage, but the last 5% of Twitter is actually good because you get to call out news stations doing stupid stuff. It isn't the 90s anymore, fam. Adapt, overcome. 1 star. Very racist people. Response from the owner. Thanks for taking the time to leave a review. We can see that you spent tremendous amount of effort articulating your issue with our services. Unfortunately, you didn't take as much time as you did for your Taco Bell review, and perhaps you would like to know why you thought we were racist. After all, you think Taco Bell is racist because they refuse to give you free stuff. That paints a fairly clear picture of what actually happened. Sadly, readers are left with only speculation about why you think we are racist. For anyone reading this, it is worth a moment to read the Taco Bell review. It's the only other review that Blorp has made here on Google. We refuse to allow you to use the range because someone in your party smelled like marijuana. If you weren't aware, providing a firearm to marijuana users is against federal law. We take that very seriously. It would also be very irresponsible for us to allow someone using drugs or alcohol on the range when there could be a safety hazard to themselves or other patrons. This sounds just, we're having a bachelor party. We want to get drunk and do the pew-pew. Everyone else should just accommodate us. Don't you understand that this is my dream wedding? Sorry. If that wasn't sufficient cause, we also don't appreciate members of your party drag racing on the street in front of our store. Reckless behavior like that is a problem when we're talking about providing someone with a firearm or a place to actively use one. Reckless people are unsafer people, and unsafe people have no business using firearms. So, exactly which part of you led to believe that the staff of Applied Ballistics were racist? Was it because we weren't able to violate federal law? Or because we don't condone giving firearms to reckless people? Or was it because we weren't willing to argue with you about it in the store? Well, I guess your complaints were really shut down. Is anyone laughing? I don't think so. Anyway, it's not like they laugh when I'm back in civilization anyway, so who cares? Not true. FBI called me directly on my unlisted work number in 2000. An agent named John Stewart wanted to know why my car was parked near the building overnight during the heightened threat of bombings after 9/11. Excuse me, sir. 9/11 happened in 2001. Ooh, but not if you have a CIA time machine. Amateur. Your conspiracies are too weak. This female statue is made in our realm on hard mode. She's gonna hold an island in her hands when it's finished. Apparently, OP is trying to pass off someone else's creative work as their own. This is such a shame. I saw this fly by my homepage just a couple of days ago, and now it turns out that it's all lies. Thank you for ruining my day. I'm so glad I left Civilization.
1 star. This is an awful place to work for. I informed the general manager, Jakin, that I needed a lunch break, and he fired me. We got along great before I told him I needed a lunch break. What a horrible person.
Hi, this is simply not true. The manager is the one that advised you during your interview to bring food and ask you to eat while at work. Eating lunch is not while you get fired. Being on the phone for 25 straight minutes while at work for the first day of training is why you got fired. Also, keep on asking for smoke breaks didn't help your situation on the first day of work. We want sincere employees that concentrates on taking care of our guests and our hotel, not someone that is distracted by personal phone calls and smoking breaks while on our clock. I usually say that you should always be realistic with what your work expects from you and vice versa. Like, you don't have to sell your soul to your workplace. Like, they pay for your time, and that's why you're there, and that's perfectly fine. But that also means that you should offer them your time, expecting to get paid to sit and gossip on your phone. Oh my god, why not? Is not really how reality works there, fam. So Civilization 0, Wood with Clicky Vicky 1.
Ooh, look at this shit, baby. Oh my god. I will survive.
r/mildly interested.
I recently draw a pencil dog handmade commission work. How's it, guys?
Man, that sentence is just an abomination of any language ever made. I am calling BS. Half of all the images you posted have signatures, the other half don't. One in particular I found actually has a removed signature, and the original I believe was Japanese, yet the other one are English. Sir, you are a con artist, using other people's hard work saying you're open for commissions. Shame on you. That is so scummy. Just taking credit for people's work is bad enough, but trying to just, like, screw people out of their money because you're expecting people to, like, reach out to you and pay for stuff that you don't even make. That's pretty bad, fam. I don't like you. YouTuber Skyrim Grandma announces she is scaling back streams for the sake of her health after receiving an onslaught of patronizing comments.
VG274, I don't know who you are and where you got your ideas from, but there is no onslaught of patronizing comments. But yes, I am scaling back videos due to health. Most people on my channel are very nice. I do wish you would delete this so it would go away.
I still remember when a Swedish newspaper made a clickbait story similar to this a bunch of years ago that I saw in the stores. There was something along the lines, "The Princess of Sweden got kidnapped. Oh, the drama." And in reality, the story was about her friends taking her away for like the bachelorette party when she got married. Twisting words is really a thing.
Stan Lee was a bigot. He said Peter Parker would never be gay. So stop with this Stan Lee worshipping. He not only refused to make Spider-Man queer, he also stated that Spider-Man should never be gay. If you continue to idolize him, then you are just as bad.
He said Peter Parker shouldn't be gay because the character wasn't written with the intention of being queer. There is more to LGBTQ+ inclusion than just queer-washing already established non-queer characters. Also, Peter Parker isn't the only Spider-Man. Stan Lee created X-Men to show how we shouldn't discriminate or be afraid of people just because they are different. That's whom we are trying to paint as a bigot. Sit your dumb down. I love to see like LGBT inclusion and stuff in movies. I think it's just nice, especially when it's done in a natural way, where it's not so overly pandering, where it's just a casual mention. Like, you don't make a big deal out of people being straight in a movie, so don't make like that massive deal about people being gay. It's perfectly natural, and it's absolutely fine. But this kind of stuff is reaching a bit hard. New York Post. Californian dies hours after getting COVID vaccine. Oh my god. The actual story is that a person caught COVID in late December. The vaccine was given hours before they died of contracting. The headline is trying to be vague for clicks.
Ooh, well, they did a clickbait, so to say.
I think I hear the laughter on the wind. Good enough. VT. Marijuana is my glass of wine. It's my can of beer. It's my relaxation time. You can still be a kick mom and smoke weed. Mom defends herself after she is criticized for smoking weed in front of her kids.
This is me. I have never said I smoke in front of my kids. What is this BS article? If you read what I actually wrote, it says I smoke when my kids are asleep outside, and it should be just accepted as a glass of wine.
But that sounds perfectly reasonable. Why are you trying to twist it into something demonic? Oh my god, think of the children. The parent had a glass of wine when the children weren't even around. Oh my god, the trauma.
The temperature in those stores is atrocious. There is no air circulation whatsoever. No way in heck can anybody be in there with a mask on. Funny, I'm an old lady with asthma and I can wear one in stores with no problem. Yeah, it gets a little hot sometimes, but I would rather be a little uncomfortable than end up with a tube shoved down my throat or make another one sick. Funny how a short old woman can wear a mask and leave her home without a gun, but big strong men cry about having to wear one and need a gun to go to Subway.
Oh, well, you underestimate the threats of a chicken teriyaki footlong. Like, God, they can bite your face off if you don't shoot them first. Make sure your sandwich is dead.
Nebulized hydrogen peroxide therapy is an inexpensive and simple way to treat most viral respiratory illnesses. All you need is a nebulizer with a face mask that covers your mouth.
I will report you for endangering public health. H2HO vapor will destroy lung tissue. What is this obsession with hydrogen peroxide? It makes zero sense. It disinfects you if you put it on a small wound. It must be healthy. Edit, well, this got a lot more likes than expected. To the people clearing up how hydrogen peroxide is not the best thing for disinfection, yes, but these people can only think in simplest of terms. So don't do this. Don't do this at home, kids. It's very bad. Full disclaimer, this person is an idiot. Moving on. 1 star.
Bartender is very rude and music is terrible. Manager told me to leave after I explained I could not wear a mask due to a health condition.
Health condition? I am so sorry. The manager you spoke to, he's my barback. The bartender you spoke to, she is my manager. Gender roles, I know. Confusing, right? My manager has lung cancer and works 12-hour shifts with a mask on. I'm pretty sure you can handle wearing a mask for the 3 minutes while you're standing at your drink. I mean, it's a state mandate and all. Mind your P's and Q's. Wear a mask and have a delightful evening. I always find that such a weird excuse. If you really have such a serious health condition that you can't even wear a mask, what are you doing outside in a pandemic? Like, for God's sake, a gentle breeze is going to literally kill you. Nobody buys it. My cousin got married recently, and I think it's safe to say they're pretty photogenic. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. Your cousin didn't get married recently. This is 2 of my very dear friends, and they got married around 3 or 4 years ago. Stop stealing people's photos for karma. Edit. I don't want to post their socials, but I'm waiting for her to respond to my message. But here's a screen grab of the couple around a week before the wedding. Peep the date. It's even older than I remember. Ouch. One thing on Reddit that I always found so weird for a long time is, why do people lie so much for karma? Like, it's not even for money. On YouTube, for example, or on news articles or stuff like that, you can kind of understand why people would clickbait and lie and overhype things, because it actually makes you money. There's a clear incentive or motive to do it, even if it's kind of shady. But then I found a comment thread that was discussing this very same issue, and apparently some people like to sell their Reddit accounts because, they're not traceable by name or anything like that. It's perfectly fine to sell a Reddit account. So people farm up karma to sell these Reddit accounts, to then sell them to people that want to, for example, push ideas or have more influence on the platform. So kind of wacky. Like, for example, imagine someone that wants to push a political view or a personal story, most likely made up anecdotal evidence for their own cause or something like that. If they have a crap ton of karma, it's more believable. So they're basically trying to buy indirect internet clout with accounts like these. That's why farming is so common. At least that's a hypothesis on it. Feel free to correct me in the comments if you know of other reasons why this is so prevalent on specifically Reddit.
Twitter won't let you use hashtag 1984, a dystopian novel by an evil big tech corporation that spies on everyone, censors and manipulates speech, punishes wrong thought, and torches dissent for sport. There's Orwellian, and there's banning references to Orwellian.
What? Hashtag 1984? Not only is this using Twitter's hashtag correctly, but it's also the original title of the book before later publishers changed it to numerals. Okay, cool. There we go. I mean, Twitter can be weird in a lot of ways. Private companies in general can have slightly weird choices. For example, when YouTube started demonetizing COVID, for example, any mention of it got demonetized when it first came out, which was frustrating as a creator because often things we review can contain a keyword or two without us necessarily pushing a narrative or misinforming people. But on the other hand, I do understand why they did it. Because, take the Pokemon Go, for example, when that was hype. If you search Pokemon Go on YouTube, you could not find anything useful, because every single video was like so clickbaity about, oh, a legendary Pokemon has appeared. Is Mewtwo actually in the game yet? And hup-de-dup-de-dup. It was impossible to find any sort of reasonable content because the clickbaiting was 99% of all videos, because the game was such a big trend and people were searching for those kind of stuff. The same thing would have happened with COVID if they didn't do anything about it, but of course it's not about a silly Pokemon game, it's about a real, very dangerous thing. So it's very understandable why a lot of these choices happen if you dig into it a bit. So I just wish it was communicated a bit more clearly for us that actually post stuff. It will make life easier for everyone. Anyway, moving on with knowledge. Caitlin, oh my, you are a bot.
If I was a bot, how would I be able to send live pics and videos? Lol.
You're a bot.
So if I was a bot, how would I be able to send live pics and videos? Lol.
You're a bot.
If I was a bot, how would you be?
So I applaud you for making a bot that's like 1% smarter than the average bot because it reacts to a keyword, but it's also kind of see-through.
The Bible teaches the same. Give the man a fish, he'll starve. Teach him to fish, he'll survive forever.
Really? Forever? Okay. I think you're messing up this proverb and the source material, but
Perhaps you missed a lesson in Sunday school, just saying.
maybe it was you who missed that day because that parable is nowhere in the Bible. Yeah, exactly. Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach him to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. Or alternatively, give him a poisonous fish and you also feed him for a lifetime.
Defund the USPS. I don't need my tax dollars being used to fund such a poorly run service. Private carriers are more than enough, and it's not like USPS is significantly cheaper or anything.
USPS made $77 billion this year. We don't use your tax dollars. To the contrary, its 600,000 employee paychecks are taxed from the USUP reverse, thereby contributing to the government funding. Also, private carriers are not more than enough. UPS, FedEx, and Amazon pay us to deliver packages that either aren't profitable for them or that they can't handle. We also rely on them for logistics. Having an every-door, everyday government entity is pretty sweet, y'all.
Okay, can I see your face?
You first.
But I ask first.
Always follow the ladies first rule.
Okay, here's my face.
I told you I write software mining crypto. Do you think I wouldn't be smart enough to do a reverse search image?
What do you mean?
Bish, that's start. That's not you. I'm not dum-dum.
Then what do you mean it's not me?
That's the start. I've seen plenty of her videos.
Don't insult me, okay? What did you call me?
Talk about turning it around.
I don't lie about pictures, you just insult women. This coos tang. It might have something to do with that old video clip of Bill Gates saying, if we do a really good job of vaccines, we can lower the population by 10 to 15%. They've scrubbed a lot of the places and he's leading the COVID vaccine research.
When child mortality rates drop, people have less children. Over time, this leads to decrease in population growth. Dude isn't plotting genocide. He's plotting out that if people are healthier, they don't need to have a ton of kids just in case. This is actually very true. If you want to read more about this, I would highly suggest a book called Factfulness by Hans Rosling, a Swedish person actually. He passed away a few years ago, rest in peace. He was a very smart man. This book talks about a lot of misconceptions in the world, how the world kind of evolves over time, and child mortality rate is actually an awesome measurement on how well a country is doing. When child mortality rate drops, it means medical care is getting on top, it means food is good, it means clean water is accessible, it means common dangers, for example, untended ditches and things where kids often end up dying in, are not as commonly occurring if you have a functioning infrastructure. So child mortality rate is actually a measurement that also decreases population, because if a country has strong welfare, strong infrastructure, strong economical safety nets and all that kind of stuff, instead of getting like half a dozen kids, people typically get like 1 or 2 kids. So one way of actually decreasing population growth in many areas of the world is to increase the economical welfare. So very interesting book. Read it. It has more in it than just that. But if you want something interesting to read this summer while you're sitting in the woods lost waiting to be rescued, I would highly recommend that one. One of the best books I've ever read. Easy top 3.
AKZ recognizes these dogs as not family friendly. Reffy.
American Kennel Club. No, we don't. Is this someone who like had one bad experience with a dog and tried to make up a fake story and like, I need a reference. Hopefully they will never see it.
My 12-year-old son got someone preggo. Did I do something wrong?
Did you do something wrong? Yes, Nick. I'm afraid you did. You violated Quora's policy against writing insincere questions. According to your other activity on Quora, you are either 16, 17, or 18 years old. You have a 15-year-old daughter who's also preggo. You have a 13-year-old daughter who's also preggo. You also have a 3-year-old daughter who's also preggo. There's an awful lot of sexually active children for one person to have, especially since you're still a teenager yourself. Yeah, but it's consistent with the family trait, right? So they were preggo initially when they were 1 to 3 years old with a 15-year-old, and now it goes down in generations. It makes perfect sense. It's totally consistent.
The last time Saturn stationed retrograde in the 23rd degree, 20 degrees of Capricorn was 1666, the year of the Great Fire of London. Saturn is now in the same degree and will station retrograde there on April 29th, 2019. And tragically, we have a fire at Notre Dame. astrology.
Hi, actual astronomer here. 3 things. 1, Saturn is in Capricorn, and now, or April 29th, it's Sagittarius. I can't pronounce that. I'm so sorry, trees. Don't fall on me. Or fall for... Anyway. 2, the last time Saturn was stationed retrograde in Capricorn was 1992, not 1666. 3, astrology doesn't work. Stop trying to pollute this horrible tragedy with nonsense. Here's the thing, if you want to read in the newspaper those vague horoscope bull that's like, oh, you might face challenges today. They're always vague to the point that you will always mentally connect it to something. Like, you might meet a tall, dark stranger today. And I mean, if you meet 200 people that day, like, yeah, someone will probably be a looker. It's always vague to the point that you will always connect it to something that does indeed happen. But that's so easy to make. That's the same kind of trick that all these psychic people use. They use our ability to connect things rather than actual solid information. If you want to have fun with like predictions in a newspaper horoscope, knock yourself out. If you want to try to push like this knowledge onto the world and make it like a scientific fact, please don't. Your brain has gone too smooth, and we need to squeeze it to wrinkle it back up. Thank you. The average family uses up 1.2 billion meters of plastic food wrap a year. Oh my god! 1.2 billion meters would approximately be 3 million blah 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 meters per day, 136,000 meters per hour, 2,200 meters per minute. I don't think even massive manufacturing companies use that much. I can just imagine like these rampaging kids just like, wrapper, I still remember they did a similar mistake in a Swedish newspaper a couple of years ago when they printed something like, Swedes drink like 5 billion liters of wine every year. And when you actually bring it down and divide it turns out that would mean every adult in Sweden would drink like 5,000 liters of wine every single week. And it's just watching that, like, I think they got like 4 zeros wrong. Like, this is nuts.
Since no one in my life seemed to care that I graduated college, I'll tell a bunch of strangers online, University of California.
Congrats on graduating in 2003. I guess the mail is slow in LA. Maybe this is the same person that complained about that UPS service or whatever it was a few posts ago. Makes sense.
For those making spurious arguments about race representation in Star Wars right now, there's a great chapter in the book Black Space about how the franchise exploit James Earl Jones' blackness to render Vader more terrifying to white audiences. Read it!
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. He was cast for his intimidating voice. Vader's black armor represents the classic Black Knight image. Few people at the time even realized the voice actor was black. That's an insanely stupid argument to make. I don't think anyone connected it that way. It's just like a Black Knight. It's that was a theme, because it's like the darkness and the spoopiness and join the dark side, young Skywalker.
No, Daddy, ooh-woo.
Next frickin' level. N'Golo Kante, 2009 from Garbage Collector, 2018 to World Cup winner. This post is simply fake. He did collect garbage in Paris to make some extra money while he was young, but that picture is not him. Plus, he's born in Paris, and sugarcane is not garbage. And there's no World Cup in 2019 either. There's just nothing right about this post. Single Maya Jama leaves Radio 1 with Tinder's most ripe swipe man. Oh my god.
Surely there's a law against this? This is pathetic. You photoshopped me leaving my job today at Radio 1 alone with a random person leaving separately? How is that allowed?
Talk about being desperate. Oh my god, you walked beside someone independently on the street? Affair! Oh my god, I am a good news person.
Found these on the beach in Portugal. You bloody rat fans get everywhere.
Mate, you still got the bloody stick in your hand. So they were trying to make the story that some fan or something like that had drawn this randomly on the beach, and they were like, oh my god, it's like if I found on the beach like laddies, lasses, and lasses, ooh, clicky, kitty, wiki, and I'm like, someone totally drew this, and I'm still standing there with the stick in my hand. Honestly, I might do that. That's a super fun post.
2.5 stars. Laura, the food was terrible. I ordered a chicken dish and got small pieces of battered dried chicken mixed in with battered prawns only ruined this dish. Good job, I'm not allergic to prawns. I won't be ordering them again.
Hi Laura, will you please open your eyes and read the descriptions? You ordered the special sweet and sour, which contains king prawns. You got what you ordered, so how is this our fault? The food was fresh and perfectly cooked. We are good, but mind reading the stupid is not one of our skills. I mean, you don't even have to do mind reading. It's still hard enough to interpret what they say most of the time.
Y'all will fabricate any ridiculous story to try and hate on conservatives.
Bruh, your profile picture is literally one of the first results when you Google black man. If you're gonna go through this trouble, why not put in, like, please, a bit more effort? It's embarrassing, and it's also embarrassingly low effort.
Stop.
I just published Elon Musk's brain coach reveals the secret sauce for learning faster. Elon Musk brain coach reveals the secret sauce for learning faster. I never used this guy. He gave a talk at SpaceX once. You know when he shook a guy's hand once? Yeah, that's... I know, I coached his brain. There's a gaming chair company called ITEY. They photoshopped a photo of me sitting in a blah blah video, and it's used for an ad for years. I never seen their chair in my life. I don't care if the chair is great. This is trashy. Don't buy their stupid chair. This has to be illegal, right? This must be illegal. This is like so shady. Oh my god.
Nigeria is 99.9 ethnic Nigerians and the most successful country in the continent. Homogeneous countries are always more successful.
No such thing as ethnic Nigerians. Nigeria is a nationality. There are over 200 ethnic groups in Nigeria. Really? I always found that interesting when people have these really ridiculously strong opinions about these weird things. And then they just make up facts to try to push it. I don't get it. Don't you just, before looking like a fool, why don't you just use the Google? I mean, you do live in society. I don't. So you actually have Google. Use it. I can talk to the trees.
Swedish multronberries. Best shit ever. Oh my god. Hell yes.
I turned 21 in December, and the first time I showed my ID, the cashier was shocked that my birthday didn't start with a 1. She realized the 2000 babies turned 21 this year, lol.
If you turn 21 in December, your birth year would start with a 1. We got a detective here, and frankly, I am okay with that. Did this person just make up a story about turning 21 and getting carded? Only to have the math wrong? You could have lied about something so much easier. Why? I did it. 4 years ago today, I OD'd on coke and almost died in a hospital. Today, I'm happily married and just gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. Never give up on life, ever.
In your other post, you claim you're a guy who just went on his first date yesterday, so congratulations.
They move fast. Success is like a snowball. It's just like poof and then baby.
Put son's PS4 controllers in the oven last night to hide him so he got to bed. Didn't tell the wife, who then put the oven on this morning. Oh, so quirky.
How did she manage to do it last night when this image been online for the last 2 days? They like their meat very well cooked. Or controllers in this case.
Not long before Rowling published, women authors were unheard of. Now your generation gets to take us further than my generation ever could because we aren't living your lives. But at least acknowledge that we lay the groundwork for you to take the next step.
Women authors were unheard of. The Tale of Genji, considered the first novel ever, was written 1,000 years ago in Japan. The author was a woman. Looks bad, fam. Looks bad.
There is no such thing as culture appropriation.
It exists. The issue is some idiots don't know the difference between appropriation and appreciation, so they say shit like, white people can't wear kimonos. An outsider wearing a war bonnet is an example of appropriation, but an outsider wearing Creole clothes isn't. Here's why. A war bonnet is an important thing for Native Americans. You have to earn the right to wear it. Conversely, Creole clothes are the national clothes of Dominica, but we don't take it that seriously. That's actually a pretty good explanation. I guess it makes sense. I remember back when I, for example, used to do martial arts, what belt you have is a pretty prestigious thing because it's something you need to earn and progress in. And if some random newcomer just, wore a black belt of the 5th level instantly the first day, that would be kind of disrespectful because the people who actually have that have worked hard for like 20 years to achieve that. So I guess that makes sense in cultures, in sports, in different things. If you appropriate something that needs to be earned, so to say, that people actually fight hard for, then yeah, then it's kind of tacky.
1 star. Dr. Bought to have lunch. The staff treated us with worst respects I have ever encountered all my life. I am a local for over 25 years and will tell everyone I know of this experience. Oh my god. Mr. Taylor, if you're a local, then you know that there's a mask ordinance in effect in restaurants. We try to be cordial, but your girlfriend/wife kept pushing through the door anyway. We're not going to risk our patrons or a restaurant for someone who feels like they're above the law. Tell your friends, but tell them the real story. Don't worry, I doubt they have any friends in the first place. Well, laddies, lads and lassos, I am gonna get lost in the woods even further, and I hope I find my way back to... that's my house over there. Well, cool. Okay, I guess I don't have to be lost for that long. Anyway, I do hope you enjoyed this beautiful video. You wonderful, wonderful being. Let me know if I should film more stuff like this in alternate locations. It's kind of enjoyable. And have a nice day. Take care and don't get lost. Hug today. Mwah.